Hey everybody, welcome to Reelblack Podcast. I'm Mike D, and I am with.
What's up, everybody? EP here. Eric Payne. What's happening? We're back at it again with my boy
Yeah,
Mike D
we're
on
going to
Real
try and
Black.
lock this Monday evening slot in for you guys as we wait for the room to fill in. I just want to remind people that YouTube no longer monetizes the channel. So if you're watching this live, you're watching it on Real Black 1, and if you're watching the replay, it's been moved over to Real Black 2. And I'll remind people who are tuning in late, if you missed this live, we're going to move this broadcast over to Real Black 2, which is our backup channel. So, but at any rate, how you doing, Eric?
I'm doing all right. I want to pin on to the end of that, Mike,
Mm-hmm.
and tell everybody, when things get good, too good for people, sometimes other folks turn up the heat. And so, once again, we want to tell everybody to support the Real Black TV and support the other channel that Mike is developing, so we can continue bringing the content. Right, you can continue to bring that content that's everybody finds informative and educational, which is really, if you're like me, what drew me to the channel, and probably what drew you to the channel too. That we can get this information that has been rare, and for our audience and for people who like stuff like us that we rarely get a chance to see. So that's how, like I always say, this Mike, I'll recap. That's how you and I reconnected. We met earlier on, and I'm on YouTube, and I'm saying, this Real Black TV is dope, man. I'm liking. I'm gonna subscribe to this, and I'm going through things on my desk, and I got your card. I'm like, oh, I know this guy. So that's how we reconnected. But it's because of the content that
Yes.
brought us back together, brought us back to, and now working together and expanding on that. Mike was kind enough to let me jump on and with him from time to time and talk shop, man. Just we love talking about movies between the two of us. We're on like a couple hours after you guys stopped seeing us, so
Yeah,
um,
just trading war stories. That's what I want to call this segment,
mm-hmm,
trading war stories,
mm-hmm.
because we have some very special guests today, friends of yours that you've been promising that we have a chance to meet off and on for since we started doing this together.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for today to finally come. And if you want to introduce the folks that are with
Well,
us.
yeah, these are a couple of my boys from just working, and one person I've known for a very long time, my special. Anybody's up on the HBCUs and all that stuff. Michael Ralph, what's up, Mikey? Mike Ralph, there he is.
Michael's having some issues with his
You can't
audio.
can't hear, but if you can't hear, just know that I spoke really highly of you. Can you hear, Reg?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. You gotta take them
Ballard.
headphones off.
Reggie Ballard, that's my other friend, Reggie Ballard. We met working and just being around
Yo,
LA, and him and Mike Ralph were on the Bernie Mac show together, playing Bernie's poker
yep.
buddies. I was able to get to know Reggie a little bit more, and these
We can,
guys play
Y'all
hockey.
sound crazy to me. Y'all
Really?
sound y'all
We don't
sound like you're going in slow motion to me, man.
really?
It's
oh
like
wow.
it's crazy.
Right.
It's
Wow.
the shrooms, man. It's the shrooms.
So you guys
Y'all
out there
sound
might have seen Mike Ralph had a recurring
Hang
role
on,
on a different world.
hey
hang
man,
on, hang
somebody
on.
need to call me.
Need to call you? Wait,
All right.
I'll call Mike.
Okay, I'm gonna take you away for a second.
Man,
How you doing, Reggie Ballard?
I'm good, Mike, man. What's up with you, dog?
I don't know. We're kindred spirits already, man.
Yeah.
I see the kung fu posters in the background,
Yes, sir.
and I'm a big Martin fan to begin with. So,
Oh, thank you,
and
man.
Bernie Mac. So we're gonna have a great time talking
Yes, sir.
to the channel right now. Let me see. We've got a couple folks. We've got some people subscribing. I don't know if you're aware. We have two channels, Real Black 1, and we just started Real Black 2.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So Real Black 1 is all the places where you're going to find your classic content, your Malcolm X speeches, your Juwanza Kunjufus, and so on and so forth. And Real Black 2 is where you'll find all our original material, films that I've made over the years
Right,
since
right.
1989. That's when I made
Oh,
my first
right.
movie,
Okay.
Who is Chris Rock? And you can check all that stuff out on Real Black 2 as we start to repopulate the channel. So
Right. Okay.
you got Mrs. Dove in the building. I love Reggie.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool. Got somebody that tell I love her back. Yeah.
You log off and log back on.
Who that?
Okay.
Me?
They're still having issues.
Oh, who, Mike?
They're still having some technical issues logging back on. But when I get the thumbs up, I'll bring Reggie back here.
Oh, y'all don't have me on? You don't have me
Eric
on?
guy.
Yeah, he meant to say me.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he was gonna. Michael said he's gonna log back on, and so yeah, you got some love for my man Reggie Ballard, bro. Man, he stole the show. Hey, Reg, you know it's rare. You know, as a comedian, you guys are used to having that timing to stealing the show. You know, even with just like a line.
Yeah,
you know,
and the funny thing about it, I started off as an actor, not a comedian.
A word?
And, majored in theater, man.
I know you playing football.
Yeah. Played football at SMU and then transferred to University of Missouri and started doing theater. And it was the stage movement that got the laughs, and the innuendos and the expressions, man. More than the words, almost. So, when I put the body movement in it and the movement, I think that got just as much laugh as the words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the whole thing. Mikey's still having trouble. He said, "Nope, that didn't work."
Well, that's why it's live, right?
Right. Tell him to keep trying. He's texting me now. Maybe he'll keep trying. But yeah, man. So you said you started off as an actor. So did you go? Because you did the Def Comedy Jam special. You developed some minutes after that, right? Because
exactly. Because J. Anthony Brown, man, he warmed up the audience for Martin, and he had a comedy club in Houston, man. He was like, "Yo, can you go and bring up the acts?" And I said, "Yeah," they did that, man. And dude saw me do named Vance Bradford, man, saw me in the audience, and he took me all over the world with his old retired colonel, man. So, it worked out. It worked out. So,
nice.
The rest is history, man. But yeah, I started as an actor, man. Before Martin, I did this show called True Colors, man, and I played Tyrell on that show. And people used to call me Tyrell in the streets. Anything's gonna shake that. Then here come Bruh Man came along.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what did you consider your big break?
The first thing I think the first thing I did was a show called Trials of Rosie O'Neill with Sharon Gless and I forgot the other actress name, Tyne Daly. And from there, it just went on, man. I've done so many TV shows, man, from ER, NCIS, Bones, Parker's, Caroline in the City, so many other Crumbs. And
that's episodic.
People just know they just know it's like your career. People just know that you did some Spike Lee stuff, but you did more stuff than that. So people that really know. But the people that don't, they just know the Martin thing, man. They don't know none of my dramatic stuff, and they had to IMDb me. So
right. And you're calling out some shows. Mike said, "I can hear y'all now. Let him in." So I guess maybe he's trying. Maybe
he's muted himself. But here we go.
But
you muted yourself.
It looks like your mic is muted.
Your mute is off. You got your there you go.
Hey,
Can you
here we are.
Oh my goodness, that was the weirdest thing ever. I don't know what was going on.
He went to the Twilight Zone. He back.
I was literally in the Twilight Zone.
So we sound normal to you now, Mike?
I'm sorry. Can you what?
We sound normal to you now?
You do. Before you sounded like you were like walking through water. It was crazy.
So everybody knows Mike Ralph. So you guys met. First off, Mike, you got to talk about different world, the different world days. I'm sure people want to know the many characters that you played. Reg was talking about before that being like a journeyman actor, what he was doing before, but he really knew him primarily from Bruh Man, and you the same way. You got, all three of us have that kind of, those careers where we had, I think, parts that we got well known for and ended up being classic black shit.
Yeah. Yeah, well, for me, A Different World was literally was that. You know, I of course, Eric, you know, I went to HBCU, Hampton Institute, right? So as I graduated, you know, and started seeing this television show on television, you know, that was about an HBC, a fictitious HBCU named Hillman. And the fact that, you know, Hillman was A Different World was a show that put a lot of black people, made a lot of black people go to HBCUs. So I had that experience, and I'm sitting at home watching this television show with my boys in New York. I'm originally from New York. I'm at home watching television, and I'm seeing this show, and I'm like, yo, y'all, I'm going to Hollywood to be on that show. And when I first got here, I went to, it was like New Year's Eve, and I'm walking around LA, and I see Kadeem Hardison, and I'm like, yo, bro, I want to come to your show. I want to come check it out. And he's like, yeah, you know, yo, you call this number and set it up, and blah, 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 blah. So they set it up. I sat there. I was in the front row. The minute he saw me in the front row, he ran over. He gave me a pound. He was like, what's up? And then he was like, then I was like, yo, how do I, you know, I'm an actor. How do I
get down?
And he was like, yo, okay, call this number. And he pointed the guy out number who he's giving me. His name was David Black, who was the first AD. And I called David. I said, you know, hey, I want to be on the show, blah, 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 blah. And he invited me onto the set. And I started on the show as an extra. And from that, it snowballed into extra to stand in to under 5 to a recurring role. I actually had 2 recurring roles on there. And people, if they go back and they watch it, they'll see me in many, many, many characters on A Different World. And that's really how, you know, my acting experience in Hollywood started. It was a snowball effect, and it grew bigger than I ever would have expected it to be.
Yeah, I'm looking here. They had just Frank, then Tyrone, then Clint.
Yep.
Then Don, then Clint, then Spencer.
Yep. Spencer.
But Spencer had a storyline, right?
Spencer was my favorite character.
Spencer actually had a storyline, right?
Spencer and Clint had storylines.
Mm-hmm.
Clint was in Ron Johnson's band, and Spencer was the Jamaican med student who proposed to Kimberly Reese.
Right. Right.
That's classic. Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so.
So everybody, you know, the actors keep working, and you know, you play miscellaneous thousands of people, and every once in a while you get a storyline. You know, your career is moving up when you get a storyline, you know, as opposed to just being out for the day giving information.
Well, we'll talk about it. I mean, so how do you 3 all know one another? What's the degree of separation? You said you met Reggie first.
That's an interesting story, man. We met each other on the PSA, man, public service announcement audition, and I end up choking him for real. We supposed
the first day I met Reggie put hands on me, y'all. And when I tell you he put hands on me for real. The PSA was about gangbangers. When we first got to town, I mean, you know, gang activity was major in LA. You know, in the late 80s, early 90s, right. It was major to the point where you couldn't wear, you know, red or blue shoelaces. You couldn't wear red T-shirts. You couldn't wear, you know, you had to really be careful of what you wore. So they did a PSA announcement. Well, they were shooting a PSA where, let's say my crew had gunned down his crew. So we were at the funeral. And I walk over to the casket, and I'm looking down at his boy, and then I look at him. And the first thing Reggie does to me was, yo, bro, I can't.
Hey, man, it's acting.
Hey, well, the reason I did it, man, because everybody that was there, they was like 6'5", 6'6", and above. And me and Mike, you know, I'm barely 6. Mike shorter than me. And I was like, you know, they going to see us.
And we had to stand out.
You know, I'm fresh out of acting school. I'm like, you know, you want to be seen.
Yeah,
so
right.
I grabbed it, man, and it took the attention right to us. because they was looking like, wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the people who were running it were like, oh my gosh, what is going on? They were really shocked and surprised. And ever since that
wasn't even
day,
called for, but I just did it anyway. So
ever since that day, Reggie and I have been like this. And then I saw him on a different world and we were cool.
Yeah.
But we didn't really link up until we got to Bernie Mac's show. We got to Bernie Mac's show. We used to golf together. We used to leave set. We would have a break in between scenes and leave set and go golf. And they would call us
Best job we ever had.
Call us back and be like, all right, y'all can come back now. And we would golf.
Best show I ever had. I mean, best job I ever had, bro.
Best job ever.
Man, I used to look at the clock and be like, come on, man, is the clock going too slow? I got 5 more hours before I get to the set.
Best job ever. And then I introduced Reggie to Eric because Eric and I went to Hampton together.
Oh,
I used to look up to, I still do. He's my man. I look up to Eric. Eric was doing some things, boy, at Hampton that I was like,
take it easy. Take it easy.
The women loved him. He was a Terpsichorean and a fantastic actor. And he made a mark for himself. And I was like, I want to be like him.
The good old days, you know.
That's the one, Mike, you say got 7 kids up in Hampton?
Right.
He might.
7 kids from 7 different, right.
But Eric was that guy. So
he was that dude.
That's our connection. That's our
long time friends here. So for those just tuning in, this is the Reelblack podcast. I'm Mike with Eric Payne, my co-host, and we're speaking with his longtime friends Reggie, Ballard, and Michael Ralph about we're trading war stories. What's a good Hollywood war story, guys?
I know Reggie got one. Reggie got a couple of them.
Were you ever, brother man, be honest, were you ever subjected to the casting couch?
Oh, dude, it's interesting that you say that, but I can't say that on air, man. I just tell you like this. A big time producer used to be my manager. Okay. And I ain't gonna call his name.
Be careful. Be careful how you tell the story because
I better not even say it. But I got approached, semi-approached, but I kind of Mike, you saved me on that one because this guy's big, man, and I mean, I kind of got a little, kind of approach, man, but I don't really have no serious like war stories. I haven't had any, major hiccups in Hollywood yet, man. Maybe because of my size, you know what I mean? I don't think nobody's gonna be, bold enough to, approach me like that, So I just, go about my business, and I don't ever put myself in a situation to be, feel uncomfortable on set or in the room. I just go in there, do my thing, and I'm out.
Well, war story, it doesn't have to be anything controversial.
Well, I don't have any, I think I had a lot of fun times on sets, man. Like,
that's really what you're talking
Martin
about.
Thing, man. They talk about, all the drama that was going on the Martin set. I didn't see that stuff, man. I mean, I wasn't there that 5th season, because we didn't have an audience. So I didn't see a lot of that stuff. But as far as, I had so much fun on shows like, Bernie was one of the funniest, man. I mean, Bernie tell us stuff that was so funny, dude. I mean, I'm gonna share this one story he told us, man. Is this, you can say what you want to say on this show?
Absolutely.
Or you got to hold back. It's a family show?
No, it's not made for kids.
I'm gonna try to do it like Bernie said it. I'm gonna tell you like Bernie told it. Bernie said when he first started doing comedy, promoter owed him $75. And say the promoters weren't coming out the back to give his money, so he got tired of it. He said, man, I went knocked on the door. We said a big old 6'8" dude come to the door. Yo, what's up? Who motherfucking money? So the dude's like, we ain't got the money right now. Walk it off. That's where you get to walk it up from. Walk it off. Fuck that motherfucking money. You say the dude touched my hand. Walk it off. Don't touch my motherfucking hand. He said, why'd I do that? Because next thing I heard was wallop, wallop. He said the motherfucker hit me in my motherfucking ear so motherfucking hard, I couldn't even hear what motherfuckers was saying. I just saw a motherfucker looking down at me with their lips moving like, are you all right? He said, I got up. Motherfucker say, walk it off. I got up and I walked it off. That's the stories. That's the kind of stuff. That's the war stories that I had on the set. That's some funny. Bernie used to tell us stuff that he never got a chance to do on stage, man.
Yeah.
So funny. The truest stuff was always the funniest stuff that Bernie used to tell, dude.
Yeah.
And we witnessed it, man. We was like eye and ear witnesses to what Bernie used to say and used to tell us. We heard stories that nobody else ever heard before.
Yeah.
I mean, like when he was sick, the first time he was sick and he had to go to the hospital. And he said, man, I was on my deathbed, man. I couldn't breathe. He said, man, brothers ain't right, man. He said, man, they was coming to my room, the nurses, and coming to my room to my prop him up, take a picture of him. They had me all proud. And they take pictures. So, and the way he used to tell it, though, man, I mean, you be dying, dude. That was Bernie, man. And
Bernie was amazing.
Yeah, the best things that I ever, encountered in Hollywood, dude. I mean, I love those moments, and a lot of them were with him.
I got a war story. Reggie says, that people didn't really mess with him because of his size. With me, it's kind of the opposite, right? I'm not a big guy. So, guys, people used to test me. So there was one time a major, I'm not going to call names, major star, right, was on set. And Whoopi Goldberg comes to me and says, you have to come meet this guy. And I said, fantastic. Because people had said, I never said it, people had said that I resemble this particular person. So I was excited to meet him. I didn't say that. I never said that I looked like this guy. So we walk up to this guy, and he's talking to some of the head honchos, some of the executive producers, and people like they're huge, right? So Whoopi comes and she says, "Hey, this is Michael Ralph," and the person turned around and looked at me and said, "You don't look nothing like me," and turned his back on me. And I put my tail between my legs and I walked away like, oh, wow, that was embarrassing. But I said to myself, I was like, the nerve of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I never said I looked like him. I didn't say that. Other people said that. So it had got to him that, there's this guy who looks like you. I ain't never said that.
Yeah.
Well, what did Whoopi promise you flowers from him or what?
Did I what?
It sounds like you got set up.
I don't know if Whoopi would. Whoopi was really cool.
Okay.
Whoopi was really Whoopi.
I was just following orders. Okay.
Right.
I don't think Whoopi would have set me up. Okay. But he was just an a-hole. And this person is no longer on top.
As it turned out to be.
He's no longer on top.
No longer on top.
Yeah.
He got his whatever it was coming up to him.
See, now people in the chat are guessing who you look like.
I've heard. Well, I don't think you'll get it.
There you go.
We can go around the horn and give it a try. But
there you go.
I'm still not going to tell you.
You probably don't want to. You probably don't want to.
That's a good word story.
It's terrible.
Well, I could tell the story without going about the way Mike thought I was going to go about it. But I went into casting one time, and the guy was sitting behind the desk with nothing but his underwear on and his body all greased up. And I was like, it's hard to do the audition that way. You know what I mean? And he said, I don't know. I'm just hot.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. That's special right there, man. You're at another level. You're at another level of your career that I have to be having to deal with that shit.
That's the one that got me right there, bro. So
I had an agent that I was working with. Agent that I was working with was making racial comments and whatnot. talk about you're full of shit. That's why you're brown and shit like that. We just make it racial. I'm like, this motherfucker right here. What?
That's why you brown.
That's why you brown.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
That's crazy, man.
That's why you brown.
My thing was always the trying to bounce around and get representation. Like, that was the dance back in the day for those of us trying to make it through, get on.
Right.
To get on. Nowadays, it seems to be something a lot easier. Reggie, you were calling out some shows from back in the day, man. Caroline in the City and the others. I remember them joints, and
I had a deal with NBC, and they put me on that show. They
used to give out holding deals back in the day. I don't know if they're doing as much of that as they are, like the way they used to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so, but I know a lot of, like, a friend of mine, Dwayne Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Martin had a holding deal, and they would pay him to turn down work.
Yeah, holding deal. People don't know what a holding deal is.
I had two of them. I had two of them on NBC and Fox.
Mm-hmm. People that are talented actors and people like that the studio wants to do business with, they give them a holding deal. And we know a couple of people like that. Who else? Did Jay Pope have one?
I think Juan had one.
And what the holding deal is, they pay you money to be with their network, and not so you can't do anything else with any other network.
If you get a holding deal with NBC, you can't work for ABC, CBS,
or
Fox.
Right.
It was like you gotta wait.
Usually like a 6 months to a year, something like that.
Yeah,
it might go longer. Yeah.
Whatever their deal was.
Right.
But it was a lot of money at times.
Right.
So that makes me think. I want you guys to speak to the progression, right? It seems to be so random acting, but I've noticed working back then that there was kind of a track that you can put yourself on to progressively get larger or potentially get larger work. Like, remember the whole kind of, you do, obviously you come from extra work to a few lines under 5, guest star, a 1-day guest star, 2-day guest star, recurring,
then series regular,
or recurring with an arc, or guest star with an arc, and then series regular, and in between that, the progression seemed, back then it was like get a holding deal in between that, that you're someone that's coming up or that they're watching to do, you get shows, to get on shows or get a show for, right.
Well, I mean, you look at somebody's career like George Clooney. How long did it take him to really get ER? And I mean, he worked many shows. He did many
Facts of Life. He goes back to
and then all of a sudden he got ER, and ER was the show that blew him up. And by that time, he was already graying a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think it took him like 20 years to get ER.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, look at
he had to have had a few holding deals, I would imagine.
Yeah, man. Morgan Freeman,
he did pilot after pilot after pilot.
Yeah.
That, a lot of the shows got canceled, or the pilots didn't get picked up.
Right.
But he always got a shot.
Right.
Morris Chestnut, kind of the same way. He still is in the running. He always gets a shot.
Gets pilot
at the title.
Right.
Boris Kojo, same thing.
Yep. That's how I go, man. I mean, that's the business.
Now it's a little different. Right?
But is it intentional building when you look back? I mean, do you see where it was intentional moves to get you from place to place, or is it just sort of how trends happen? Or, I mean, like what are the different things that move a career forward?
Well,
I think it starts with your team.
Yeah, it does. Your agents, your managers, and
brilliant representation.
Yeah, I mean, you get to the point where if you could get to the point where you are able to turn down stuff that you don't want to do, and choose the stuff that you want to do, then you could guide yourself in the direction that you want to go. I mean, when I first came out, I told them, my agents, the commercial agents, I didn't want to do any alcohol commercials because I don't drink, so I don't want to promote nothing that I didn't do. So I've done a lot of commercials, man, and none of them I always, they never came to me with alcohol commercials. So you can kind of steer yourself in the direction that you want to go, and
but there's also package deals, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're with a big agency, right? That big agency has the showrunner, they have the writers, they have everybody in one house working on a certain project. Right. So that package deal comes together. Hey, this isn't going to work unless CAA's, representation is going to be a part of this, blah, 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 blah.
Try to break some talent, break some actors and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Out there. Yeah.
Right.
So they have a way to spotlight their own talent.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, man. I don't care what kind of package you have or whatever. If you don't want to do something, then you just don't do it. And so, whatever direction you want to go in, you can go into that direction. They might come to you with something that you're like, well, I don't want to do that, but they say, well, this will make you this and this will make you that way. So it's up to you.
How come the brother got to wear the dress?
Wow.
Yeah, were either of you and any three of you ever offered the dress to put on?
I was offered the dress and I emphatically turned it down.
The dress.
I was offered the dress late in the game. Like everybody had already done it. I was like, Martin did it, Eddie did it, Jamie Foxx did it. Why I got to do it? I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm too big to wear a dress, man. I look funny in a dress, so they gonna laugh at me, man.
You be looking like grandmama and shit.
Yeah, man, they laugh at me, man. They don't need to laugh. I don't want that.
Who was Eddie? Rasblusha, something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Rasblusha was pretty big.
But on a serious note, like if they had transgender people getting bashed and killed and stuff like that, and somebody want to do a story on that and bring awareness to it, hey man, I'm up for the game. I'm like, yeah, if I'm trying to put your story, but I just can't do it for fun, just so people can laugh at me, man.
Right.
I look funny in the dress, though.
Put a qualification on it.
I look ugly in the dress, man. I don't want to look ugly.
So it's kind of like what was that thing that movie that Hillary Swank did?
Oh, Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry.
So it's kind of like that with when Hillary played that character.
Yeah,
right.
Rocked that too.
She killed it. Didn't she get an Oscar for that?
Yeah, I think so. I think the whole dress thing with the black man is the whole lack of balance, because that's been a comedic bit for years. Guys.
I mean,
what's his name?
And the laughs is kind of laughs is the same kind of laugh. It's kind of after a while it ain't really that funny no more.
Right.
Yeah. Right. It's like, yeah, man. I look silly in a dress, man. So I just don't want to look silly, man. It ain't got nothing to do with anything else. It's just got to do with I don't want to look stupid and funny.
Right.
What was the character that Flip Wilson used to do?
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
And that kind of messed with his head, man. Because people were thinking, things about Flip, man. And so they said that Flip, I don't know how true the story is, but they said that Flip, man, used to have as much sex with as many women as he could because they wanted to prove he wasn't Geraldine, So, now don't quote. I didn't say that. I just heard that from, somebody that said they read his memoirs or whatever. But sometimes that can mess with people because people, people have a tendency to think you are who you are. When they see you on screen, they think, they think I'm bruh, man. When I speak to them, they say, oh man, and they like kids thought, like elementary school kids thought that Martin actually found me on the street and I was homeless, and they gave me a job, and that was who I was. So when people see you do a character, if they see you in a dress, now they're gonna think, oh well, he's homosexual. They're gonna think,
right,
and far from the truth, man. But that's the thing, like I did an episode of America's Most Wanted, and I
everybody was getting jobs at America's
Most
Wanted.
Everybody. I kidnapped.
That was only work for brothers back in the day. Everybody.
Yeah, man, set his house on fire. Something, and people, they calling the police on you, man. They see like, they're the guy. It's like you actually think they're gonna film the guy that did it.
Oh, really? While you were shooting the reenactment, they called the cops.
Yeah, they got the cops on you, dog. I'm like, that's crazy. My mother got mad at me.
Was it
like
America's Most Wanted or FBI's Most Wanted? Because I did a show called FBI's Most Wanted.
I think
it was America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted was the main one that a lot of brothers. I auditioned in New York for that a couple of times.
Yeah.
No, I did FBI, and when I came in, when I did it, it was the the Jamaican posses were huge. So when I came to town, everything Jamaican, Mike Ralph was booking. I was booking everything Jamaican. Exactly. I came at the perfect time, perfect place, and it just worked out for me. So FBI, I did FBI's Most Wanted, and the character I was playing was a murderer. I ain't never called the cops on me, but I was pretty bad. Right.
Also, too, that was the heyday when you were doing a lot of the Jamaican roles with the dreadlocks, right, Mike? You had the whole Mark for Death with Steven Seagal. That was the height of Steven Seagal's career, right?
A lot of stuff.
Man, you let Steven Seagal bust you up like that.
Hey, you know what? Come on, Reggie. They paid me well for that ass whipping.
Oh yeah, y'all tried to get right around the corner from the crib too.
I'm still getting checks for that ass whipping.
There it is. I still see it all the time. Every time I see it, I call you. Hey man, Mark for Death on. You ought to get you a couple dollars.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
I have a request from Mrs. Dave.
Mrs. Dove.
You want some Jamaican accent? Yeah, man. He's a Jamaican. People don't understand say he's a real Jamaican. People say sometimes me Jamaican. But me is a Jamaican. My mother is Jamaican. My father is American. That make me a Jamaican. See? You know what I say? Right? All right. Yeah. Hercules. Yes. Thank you, Mr. D. Thank you very much. He's a Jamaican.
Hey, tell me what you told me today on the golf course. I told him, I say, man, they showing too much love for the Jamaican sprinters, man. What you say?
That's all you can say. All you can say. Say Jamaican people, I get too much love. There are some of the most loved people in the world. Faster than everybody out here. We walk fast, we talk fast, we walk fast. What happened at the Mount Sac? Mount Sac really the fastest woman in the world win our heat, but she never show up for the final.
She didn't show up.
Other girl.
Other girl ran 10.77. That's the fastest in the world, not 10.89. So
she get love because she's Jamaican.
Got that Jamaican sprinters fastest in the world stuff,
you
man.
You from the country. You from
T.T.
the country,
Terry, baby.
Texas.
T.T. Terry, 10.77.
You from the country, Mr. Texas. Move on, boy.
You got a Yelp rating, Reggie.
You got a Yelp rating.
Next to me.
yeah, bro, man. He's a good brother.
That's cool,
yeah,
man.
JoJo and Riri. That's who Reggie Ballard is.
Appreciate that.
Genuine good man.
Well, I'm pretty sure you made the conversation more better. So,
yo, on the real, yeah. Like Reggie, I was sick. I got really sick. I was like literally on my deathbed, and some of the stuff I could not have done. Reggie came over. He's one of my kids' God fathers, right?
Yes, sir.
Reggie came over. And because my wife was in the hospital with me when I was there. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks with something called coccidioidomycosis. It was a fungal pneumonia. And Reggie came over to my crib and took care of my kids, man.
Yes, sir.
Like family. So the brother who you talked to at the airport, who was that, JoJo? That's exactly who he is. He's one of the nicest, realest cats ever.
Yeah, man, that's my peoples over there, man. That's my peoples over there. My godson is as soon as he was born, I set him up with stocks. He got stocks.
Yep.
He got savings.
Yep.
So he gonna be straight, baby.
Yep. Hooked him up.
He got some Apple. And I'm talking about he got Apple when it was $90.
Yep.
What? Who, Ben? What?
Ben, yes, sir.
Nice.
He got it when it was $90, dog.
Ben got
almost 200 now.
Yeah.
And, doing,
and he got and he got it when it split.
Yeah.
Wow. Mogul.
Yeah, so he got like about 40 shares of that bad fella.
Yeah.
Ben's doing big things. He's chilled out his YouTube channel now. But
yeah.
He's kind of a mini mogul like you, Mike.
Yeah, he's growing up. He's growing up. He's doing big things.
So you guys, the Bernie Mac show was pivotal at the time it came along, right? And I think all three of us were able to see some kind of, during the course of our career, some historic things. But really to see Bernie's rise, you know, because when I first saw him at the Def Jam, that time when he came out, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That shit
you know
was
the
hilarious.
story behind that, right?
Huh?
Do you know the story behind
that? I was there. They had just, Bob says somebody did. We did a show with Bob Sumner.
I know we did. I was on that show with you.
You were on that show, right?
Yeah. I did.
Yes, no, we did a podcast.
No, we did a podcast. Me and Mike D did a podcast.
Yeah.
But Bob said that I thought the guy immediately before Bernie got laughed off stage.
Yeah, he got booed.
Yeah, he did get booed, right?
Bernie was scared. He was telling Martin, he's like, "Yo, man, they booing people out there, man. You know, man, this ain't supposed to be like that, man." He was scared. So when he came out there, he said, "I ain't scared of you, man."
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Like, woo, took off, dude.
You were backstage, Reg?
No, I heard the story too from the cat. Yeah.
I was standing in the back of the theater, and he worked out the shit with Kid Capri, said a little joke, Kid hit it. But you could see him just winning the audience over like Rose, like it was crazy because motherfuckers were just laughing at the other dude. They were still laughing at Bernie because he had the shit painted on his pants and go out shit, right? Chicago down. And he just kind of slayed him. You saw him get the attention of the audience like it was like a wave, man. It's crazy.
It was history.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you guys get cast to that? Were you acquainted with Bernie before that, or was
I got cast? I just went in audition, man. But the funny thing about it, I couldn't come in audition when they wanted me to because I had to do something in Alabama. And they say, "Hey, man, if you're gonna leave, then this might not be here for you." And I already committed to them people, man. So I was like, "Well, I can't break my commitment." And I know this was a bigger thing, and I just took a chance. I said, "Man, I got to go do the show in Alabama." When I landed, I got a call from an agent that said, "Bernie, they said they'll wait for you to come back." So when I came back auditioning, Bernie liked it. He was an audition, man. He gave me the pound like that. I was like, it was all good, man.
Yeah, for me, I actually wasn't their first choice for Kelly. So when I auditioned for it, and then somebody else booked the role. I don't know if you know the actor Kelly Perrine. Kelly Perrine has been in a lot of stuff.
So we're going to talk about those degrees of separation between Kelly Perrine and myself and Reggie from Between Brothers.
Between Brothers, right. So Kelly Perrine booked the pilot. So he shot the pilot. But then Kelly, and this was just a recurring role, right? So excuse me. So Kelly ended up getting a series regular on a show called One on One with Flex Alexander. So when he left, they were trying to, replace Kelly. So I got the phone call. They were like, yo, you remember that audition? I auditioned for it a long time ago. They were like, you remember that audition for the Bernie Mac show? They were like, my agent was like, you got the role. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was excited. I was like, I
was happy to see him walk on there, man. He walked on, I'm like, yo, man.
And that was it, yeah.
That's when we looked back up right there.
And I knew Kalita Smith, the girl who played played Bernie's wife, right? I knew her, and she was like, you got to come meet Bernie. So we walked into Bernie's dressing room, and he said, yeah, I heard you was clever. I was like, okay. I was like, he said, well, we gonna see. I said, okay. I said, all right. I'm up for the challenge, sir. He was like, welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard.
Clever. That's
the rest has been.
The
rest was history, man.
Yeah, man.
No, it sounds like he embraced his stardom, his power.
Oh, yeah.
What he does, what he embraces anybody who's willing to take a chance and to go out there. I've worked with some people stars who didn't want you to be funnier than them.
Right.
Bernie was like, if you think you can be funnier than me, then go ahead and do it. I did an episode called Kelly's Hero, where my character breaks up with his girlfriend, and I move in with Bernie and the family. And there's one scene where we're sitting around the table, and I got this monologue about why she left me, and I did one, like, I got him, you know what I mean? I got him to laugh, and he couldn't like just be like, that's funny. He held it in, and I knew, when you get Bernie, when Bernie licks his lips, and he holds it in, like that, and I was like, I got him. And and I have proof. It is on television. I have it on my reel that I got Bernie Mac to laugh, and he was like, Mike, you kill. When I tell you kill that shit, Mike, you kill that motherfucker, man. Good for you. So he was happy. He's happy if you can make him laugh.
That's crazy, because meeting Bernie and being around him, he was just like the person you see on camera. In terms of the realness to the cat, he always brought himself to the role, but from an acting standpoint, he made the shit real, right?
Absolutely. But Eric, I mean, you remember we used to go over to Friday
hanging out.
Reggie didn't come over there a lot, but Kelly's Hero episode of Bernie Mac, yes, absolutely. But Bernie, you remember how Bernie was? He was, like you're saying, he was that guy. He made you comfortable at all costs.
Yeah, we used to always have up to his room to eat, man. He had the buffet in his room, with the smothered chicken and the the greens and the beans and rice and stuff like that. He said, "Man, y'all come to my room, man." So, cool cat, bro.
Good guy, man. Good guy. He's really
Bernie's type dude. When he asks you how you doing, man, he meant how you doing. He meant how you doing. The movie deal you have, how much money you have, who your agent is, or what's your next project. It's like, man, how you doing? Come in. What's up, you squares? That was his thing. He always come in every morning, man.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah.
Straight Chicago, right?
Good guy, man. I miss him.
Straight Chicago.
Man, we had a guest actress on the show, and I told Bernie something about her, that was funny, but I told him don't say nothing about it. And man, so every time we did the scene, man, Bernie would look at her and he would bust out laughing, man. He couldn't stop laughing. I said, "Come on, you don't know."
I remember that.
Yeah, he was in the hall on his knees, dude, dying. He said, "Come on, man. Come on, hold up, man. Come on, man." I said, "Come on, Bernie, man. She gonna know you talking about."
I remember that.
But he was a real dude, man. Yeah. And the whole cast was cool, man. I mean, Jeremy and Camille and Dee, all of them was cool, man. And
everybody was cool.
Yeah, we had fun.
We literally were a fan.
I remember the time when he came to the set, and he's supposed to get renewed or either canceled. So he came to the set, man. He gathered everybody around. He said, "Look, I decided that, Fox decided, that, the show's not coming back." And man, everybody's like, "Oh man," I seen the grip people like, "Oh, they threw their stuff up." And, he say, I want to let y'all know that, I told them, we going to do this another season, and they got to do what I say. And he say, "So we doing another season." Man, everybody jumping up, but he had everybody down, dude. And he was saying, we going to do the show coming back, So he was that type of cat. Play them kind of jokes,
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Was it like 5 seasons you guys did, right? Was it 5 seasons?
Yeah, it was 5 seasons. I did 4. They did 5 because I got another
5
show called
but what's so jacked up is that when Reggie was gone, because Reggie's character was so pivotal, right? It didn't make any sense for my character or Lombardo Boyar, who played the Spanish guy, right? It didn't make any sense for that because we didn't do a lot of poker.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they brought in like the guy who plays his manager and some other guy, right? So they didn't really. This because I did like maybe 1 or 2 episodes that last season.
And see, I don't know, man. I don't know. They didn't let me. Fox didn't want me to. I mean, the show that I was doing called Crumbs, it was right there on the same lot.
Crumbs.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I could have did both shows.
But it was another network.
Yeah, but come on, man, they be letting the white boys do that.
I'm with you. I'm with
Right.
you. I'm not arguing.
Yeah, that was jacked up, man. But yeah, but I missed. I kind of hated. But hey, man, I always got an offer I couldn't refuse. So
right.
Yeah.
How long was that on? Who's on Crumbs? What was that?
Crumbs was William Devane, Jane Curtin, Fred Savage.
Okay.
Yeah, they were. Jane Curtin was my first on-screen kiss. Can you believe it?
Jane Curtin.
One was about 20 years older than me.
Jane Curtin from Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night
Original
Live.
Yes, sir. That was my first on-screen kiss, man.
That's history. That's some sort of history.
Yeah, I know, right? Ain't that crazy? I know. But no. Well, really, what Jonelle Kennedy was my first on-screen kiss, but I was so nervous to do the kiss because we went to college together, and my wife used to think me and her had something up, but we didn't. And then all of a sudden, years later, she ended up playing my girlfriend on a TV show. What's the odds of that happening? I'm catching beef in college over a girl, and then this girl, man, like 10 years later, come and play my girlfriend on a TV show.
And if you've ever seen Jonelle Kennedy, people watch it, there was reason that his wife, ample reason that his wife was probably upset about that.
Yes, sir, man. And that junk. So we kissed, and the director saw how nervous I was. She said, "Oh, you know what? You guys just do a hug." I go, "Thank you very much."
You're saving my marriage. Thank you.
Exactly, man. But yeah, that's how that happened. But Jane Curtin was my first, man.
Speaking of little love scenes, Mikey, you did a movie where you had a love scene, had to choreograph that situation. You know, what from an actor's, you want to give the people's a little perspective about how that is choreographed exactly, as much as you can.
It's uncomfortable. People think that it's mad uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching you.
You actually had a sex scene. Let me just put it out there. So the whole.
I mean, I wasn't all the way naked, but and you gotta act like you're all into it when all of these people are watching you.
Yeah.
And they have cameras with major lenses.
Oh, see, somebody asked to put up a picture of Jonelle Kennedy.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
Spot there.
That's my girl.
Jonelle is a very good actress too.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult to do. It's some difficult stuff to do. Right. But you gotta act like you getting it.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you. I got a story about what Bernie told you. You remember, was you there when Bernie told you when they had to do a sex scene?
No.
Bernie say, man, they had to do a sex scene on some show he was on, a movie.
Soul Man, I think it was Vanessa Del Rio.
Huh?
Soul Man with Vanessa Del Rio.
That's what it was. I don't know what it was. But
Vanessa Del Rio, the porn star?
With Sam Jackson?
Oh,
maybe. Good movie, actually, Soul Man.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he said he had only thing between the two was a pillow. He said he had a little pillow. And he said, man, Reg, man, you remember he said, man, I got so excited. He said, man, when they said cut, I had got up, and he said, man, the pillow was stuck to me, man. He said, I got overexcited, man.
Oh man.
Well,
that was hilarious, boy. Bernie used to tell us some things, man. He said, man, I was stuck to the pillow, man. He said, man, I was leaking. Oh, no. That dude crazy.
Any Tupac stories? You guys were in LA around that time.
I got Tupac story.
Okay.
I got Tupac loved his weed. I was on the set of A Different World, and we actually had a scene together. And I was, he was, getting with Jada on the show, and then there was beef in the Bumper Robinson was at the time Jada Pinkett's boyfriend on the show. So Bumper was jealous and everything. So Tupac came on like Tupac. Tupac was, like, yo, I don't care about none of this, blah, 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 blah. So he was punking, what's his name? He was punking Bumper. So my character jumps up and, I get in his face. I said, yo, watch yourself here, boy. Tupac turned to me and says, man, and I don't think it was in the script. He said, man, you better back up off me before I knock them fake dreads off your head. And the audience was just, they were dying. And so I tried to get all big and body with my Jamaican self. I said, boy, make me lick up in there, boom. And before I could get that out, Ron Johnson, Darryl Bell grabs me and just pulls me out the way.
Oh, yeah.
And when I tell you, that boy smoked he used to smoke a lot of weed. He came out the car one time with like his hands were like this, right? And between his hands and his chin,
just loose weed.
Mountain of weed with like spliffs sticking out. Like he was like walking to the room. He was walking to the dressing room like this. Like, what up, man? What up? But he was Tupac was cool as the guy you saw.
Yeah,
was who he was.
Yeah, I did 2 movies with Tupac.
I'm gonna tell you this one I got of him right quick, and this is totally way out. I was at the Comedy Store, and I was just there watching comics. I don't even think I was doing comedy at the time. Maybe I was, I don't know, but I was just there. No, I was on Martin already, but I was just there watching the comics. And so right before the show got over, I said, man, I'm finna roll out, before everybody come out, because when they come out, they want to take pictures and all that. And so I walked out, standing right in front of the door as I walked out was Tupac. And I said, yo, what's up, man? He's like, yo, what's up? We did the pound. And then I walked. It seemed like, man, he was telling and greeting everybody, telling everybody bye. And about 2 weeks later, that's when he died. Wow. It seemed like he was saying bye to everybody. He was standing right in the middle of the door. So when people come out, it's like he was, greeting everybody like, hey, yeah, bye, y'all take it easy. And like 2 weeks later, man, he's dead.
That's freaky too, that you had that experience. That a lot of people could talk about that. When we did a Gridlock, which was a little departure for a Tupac movie, right? With
and I just seen that movie about maybe 2 years ago. I said, that's a darn good movie, man.
Yeah, it's good, right? It turned out pretty good. Vondi directed it, Tupac, Tim Roth, Tandy Newton,
right.
Bokeem, a bunch of people. Bokeem Woodline, Lucy Liu was in, a bunch of people in that.
Wasn't Jim Belushi in that?
No, that was Bullet. That was the other last one, but that was, that was like Cops and Robbers, but this was the second to last one. But there's a monologue in the movie, because they're like junkies that are trying to kick, and they got to get themselves, they're addicted, so they're like, yo, we got to get in rehab, and they're going through all this stuff to get in there. Tandy, over her character OD'd, and there's a monologue in there where Tupac is talking about life and death, and they did the screening at the Writers Guild. It was just, he was gone then. It was, really just one of the moments like, damn. Because all of us that had an experience saw that this brother had a lot of talent.
Yeah, he was intense, man. He was intense and extremely talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I remember he died on my brother's birthday. We were in I was born September 12th. My brother was born September 13th, and we always hung out together. And we were in New York City. And it was September 13th, was my brother's birthday, and a brother walked up to us and said, yo, y'all hear Tupac died? And it floored us, dude. It was kind of like that moment when Kobe died,
Mm-hmm.
It was like that kind of, it took that kind of effect, dude. Like,
the
whole city was like, oh shit, he died.
Especially in LA,
No, we were in New York City.
In New York?
We were in New York City.
Yeah, everybody thought, oh, he shot. He got shot before he'll recover.
Right.
People were like, thinking he was superhuman. So yeah, I remember that day as well.
I met him when they were doing that scene in Juice. Ernest recreated the Chinatown scene with the knife in the nose.
Right.
Oh, that's the day that I met Tupac. I came to visit the set, and I met him. Ernest Dickerson introduced me to him. I was like, "Damn, man, it looked real." He's like, "Shit, it felt real." You know? But you know the whole Juice story. You know, he rolls up to the audition with Tretch. Tupac wasn't even. He was just hanging with Tretch. And Ernest said they asked him, "You want to read? Sit for the same role." And that was it. Once he read, obviously, you know.
Is that right?
He knew he was crashing the audition. His ass knew he was going to crash.
He knew he was.
Tretch. You went to drama school. You grew up going to drama school acting. Hell yeah, you're gonna now you rapping. You're gonna crash that audition. Shit.
He knew what to do.
Yeah, but hey, the rest is history, as they say, right?
Yeah,
man. Y'all ever work with DMX?
Never worked with DMX. Yeah. I never met DMX.
No. Yeah, me either. Never met DMX, man.
You well, obviously you did.
Yeah, I worked with him. I'm just talking about kind of the similarities between the two of them, you know.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of the energy, I think they were trying to put DMX in that Tupac space when he first came along, you know, in Belly and shit like that, you know.
You know, it's funny because I don't buy many CDs, man. But you know, I bought X and I bought Tupac before. You know, I mean, I usually, you know, I'm Parliament,
right?
Yo, you know, but I'm Isaac Hayes and Barry White is my two top dogs. So. But you know, I bought Public Enemy. Those rappers I used to listen to back in the day, you know, Rocky, you know, stuff like that. But I did buy me some Tupac, man, and some Biggie.
And some Biggie and DMX.
First time I got booed opening up for Biggie.
Really?
I got booed off stage, man, in North Carolina NT. Long time ago. I was opening up for Biggie. I just started doing comedy. And two dudes told me, man, bring Biggie up. And I got personal with him. I'm like, what? We can take it outside. Next thing I know, boo! 5,000 students. I'm like, well, come into the stage.
Christopher Wallace.
I'm gonna dig him up real quick, dog.
Getting booed off stage is not fun. I got booed down. I used to do stand-up comedy, and that to me is like the last frontier, man. If you and I've seen Reggie. Reggie commands the audience. He kills on stage. And I've had some good shows, but I had a show in Atlanta and I was telling my little jokes and they told me, I remember Chris Spencer and Buddy Lewis said that if you don't get booed off stage, you are not a comedian. So I was telling my little jokes and this one lady up front said, boo!
That's all it takes is one.
Is that I was like, was that for me? And then it's like that riotous mentality, you know, one person, you know, grabs the brick and throws it through it's like, you know, Eric, it was like
do the right thing.
Do the right thing, right? Somebody grabbed the trash can and the brick and throw it through the window, and then it just caught fire. So like everybody was like, boo! And you know when you're in a club, and you feel the bass shaking your clothes, right? You feel that? That's the way it felt. And I tell you, I walked from that stage straight to the exit, and I walked 1.5 miles to my hotel room, and I didn't stop hearing the boo until I closed the door behind me and went down in a fetal position. I was like,
you walked back to the room, man.
Well, you didn't even stay for the second show. Yeah, the second show. You didn't bust the second show.
I had another show the night after, and I got a standing ovation.
There you go.
That's a long walk to that room, boy.
That was, oh boy, it was tough. It was tough.
But you came back and you redeemed.
I did. I wrote some new jokes. New jokes.
That's what it's about, right?
That's right.
You got to keep pushing.
You got to keep on, man. That's the business we in, dude.
Yeah. You can't stop.
We're in the rejection business, bro. If you can't handle rejection, then this is the wrong business for you.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get rejected way more times than you're gonna get accepted.
And for me, it was the more no's you hear, the closer I'm getting to a yes. That's the way I look at it.
That's right, and that's the truth.
So I had to keep on going.
And now it's a little bit
plus
more
the kids had to get
because you can't get into the room now. Now you got to send auditions in, man.
Yeah,
you don't really know what they want. It's like when you're there, they say, "Okay, can you do this way? Can you make this adjustment?" But you just sending in something and you don't get no direction. You just send it in, man. It's hard because I don't think I ever had this many auditions without booking something. You know,
Hmm.
I usually, they always say they got a pin in me, and I never get the final decision. But if I go in the room, man, I got them.
Right.
But it's hard to do this COVID thing now. You just do it on with your phone and send it in.
Yeah, is it slow? Is it starting to turn around now at this point? Or
Well, I still don't know anybody that really went in on auditions. I mean, they're still
you got
doing
used
Still
to it?
on tape.
Yeah, I'll take
They're slowly but surely opening up a little bit more,
well,
but it's a financial thing right now, because when you get your COVID test, even before you go on set, I'm not sure about how the auditions go. I don't know if they're paying you for a COVID test, but they're literally paying you to get a COVID test. I did a I can't even really talk about this right now. I signed an NDA, but I did a video game, huge video game. I don't usually do video games, but I was doing a favor for my friend, right? And to do that video game, I had to get a COVID test, but they paid me for it because we were in the studio with a bunch of other people.
Right.
And I haven't been in the studio with a bunch of other people since 2020, since the beginning of COVID. So now it's kind of changing a little bit.
So you're able to do voice.
I do voiceovers in my little booth here. I built this booth. I was doing my stuff in my closet, but I was in the closet, and I do a lot of different things voice wise. I have an agent that helps me do my commercials and stuff, and then I do something called looping and ADR, which I hire myself through my company, and I'm a contractor for Warner Brothers, Universal, and all of that. So those jobs are, solely mine. I don't have to share any money with managers, agents, or nothing like that. I get a phone call. They say, "Hey, are you available?" And I either say yay or nay. So that's different. But my agent now, for my commercials, he said to me that if you do not have a booth with Source Connect, you might as well just, say goodbye to commercial voiceovers and things like that, and promos. You might as well just say goodbye. So I built this booth, and it wasn't that expensive, but it has paid for itself, 10 times over so far. So
excellent.
It's a different game now. COVID has made it a different game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because I know when we did the Martin reunion, man, we had to get tested right there on the set before we even go in, and they do the test, and then you down there mingling with everybody. And they say
they paid you though, right? Right for the test.
No, not the test. No,
really,
not that I know of. But then they'll come down and tell you if you can stay there or if you have to go.
Oh yeah, if you
pass we did. I can pay for it, but I got 3 different checks. Maybe one of them was for that. I don't know.
They definitely, trust me. They paid you for your COVID test.
I got paid for a test when I went in for testing for was it Raising Canaan? I think.
Yeah.
So
that's hilarious. I was doing a show. I was sitting in my booth, looking at the camera, and lo and behold, who do I see but Eric Payne?
Oh yeah.
I was doing Raising Canaan. And
I thought I told you that, but you knew I booked that job.
I knew you booked it, but I wasn't expecting you.
That's crazy how you were looping.
I wasn't expecting me to be doing the scene that you were in. I wasn't
crazy.
You guys are really connected.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I should have got down in that game a long time ago. Hey, talk about a Hackerish while we at it.
Hackerish is a golf show that I have on YouTube. For all the golfers out there, we grow the game of golf one hack at a time. We're trying to bring attention to diversity and inclusion in the game of golf. We're trying to let people know that if you like golf, if you have any interest, the game is for you. It has been a good old boy sport for many, many years. I went to the Masters a couple of weeks ago, and it was incredible to see what his name, Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones was like he created Augusta National, pretty much. He was the guy who, you know, was like the king of the Masters, right? And he said that as long as I'm alive, this game will be as white as the ball we play. So when you talk about being excluded from a certain game and a certain, you know, situation, they have done that excellently, brilliantly by design. Up until 1994, when this young African American Asian kid came on and dominated the field and changed the game.
There you go.
Once Tiger came on, because when you think about it, Charlie Sifford, Lee Elder, all these golfers, they've been like, there were so many golfers on tour back then than there are now. It's non-existent. We have Tiger Woods and we have Harold Varner.
In terms of black golfers, you're talking about.
In terms of black golfers, like that's it. There's not, you know, Tony Finau is not a black golfer. He's not black. Right? Tony Finau, I think he's Polynesian or something like that. He has the darker skin,
brown skin,
but he's the first one to tell you, I'm not black. But you know, I don't because he cannot say, you know, hey, you know what, I'm, you know, right on. I'm right. Same pressures that you guys are. He's honest about it, right?
Right.
But you know, we have pretty much two. But there are so many other talented black golfers, young black golfers out there. And Jim Thorpe, who's a friend of mine, who won 19 times on the PGA Tour and the Champions Tour, he did his first inaugural Jim Thorpe Invitational. And I went and I started interviewing some of these young kids. And there is so much talent. So Hackerish Golf wants to bring light about some of these talented young black golfers out there, because not all of us can, and I'm guilty of this. Not all of us can play basketball, run track, and play football.
Right.
All right. African Americans are very talented, you know, sports wise, but not all of us can do that. So golf is a way where you can get a scholarship, a full ride as a minority in some of these programs, and you don't have to even be that good. Right, but you can get a brilliant education playing golf. So Hackerish Golf is trying to. I'd like to do what I'm trying to do is do a travel show that brings light to not only some of the experiences of golfers, but some of the places that golf can take you to. It takes you to some of the most beautiful places in the world. So. Please follow my journey, Hackerish Golf on YouTube.
We're gonna be doing
Hackerish Golf on Instagram. Please,
I gotta
grow the game.
That's right. Hackerish is really good, entertaining. Guys, check it out on YouTube. It's really good and entertaining, and you know, you learn about golf and you have a good time watching the show too. I was gonna say I got a Tiger Woods story. First time I ever heard about Tiger Woods. You know, my sister commented on there, but her friend back in the day, named Tracy, was one of those kids achieve a lot. She was kind of on a genius level playing violin, and we were told to her parents told our parents that she was going to be on the Mike Douglas show, where they had Amazing Kids segment. And so we were watching my sister's friend Tracy, and ironically, she looked like she could be your agent too, Blasian, excuse me. But anyway, she came out and played, and then afterwards, it brought this little kid named Tiger Williams, this black man. Brought this little, you know, you could tell he was Asian and black. It's okay, Tiger, you know, hit the ball, you know, and just was hitting the ball. I didn't get it at the time, but other guests on the show were Jimmy Stewart and Bob Hope. You know, Bob Hope was a golf head.
Right.
You remember that? And he was just looking like, damn, you know, and they were all amazed at Tiger hitting this ball. I didn't know what it meant because, you know, obviously, but they were like, yo. He was
3 years
virtuoso,
old. 3 years old. He was destined.
Very Griffin show, right?
He changed the game. I
Mike
mean,
Douglas.
Mike Douglas, that's right.
Tiger Woods, nobody changed the game the way Tiger did. He has all these young boys working out now. They changed the length of some of the holes because they were trying to make it harder for Tiger not to win. They made some holes longer. Like they didn't do that when
golf course long.
what's his name? Jack Nicklaus. They didn't do that when Jack Nicklaus was winning all them tournaments. They didn't change shit.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger came along and they were like, oh, there ain't no way this black boy gonna be out driving everybody, out driving the field. We're gonna have to lengthen this thing. And
imagine what he would be doing to it right now if it was the same as when they had it.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
It'd have been, he probably would have had about 8 jackets right now.
He was demolishing the field. I played courses like Pebble Beach, where when I tell you, when you play Pebble Beach, you feel the like the respect that the course commands.
Yeah.
And some of the holes where I teed from, like there's like 100 yards difference from where Tiger Woods tees off from. And he'll hit it from 100 yards back, and he will still and I'll hit a good shot. He'll still outdrive me by 100 yards.
Wow.
Like, it is phenomenal to think of some of the things that he did.
Right.
Nobody ever beat anybody by 12 strokes at a U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, but Tiger Woods did. He demolished the field in the year 2000.
So for some of you non-golf heads out there that might be watching, golf is like playing when you can't go as hard on the basketball court or the football field anymore, and you still want to find a sport that is not as hard on your body.
Yes,
golf is one of those sports, and I'm speaking.
It may not be hard on your body, but it's harder than the sport you probably played before.
Hey, listen, I played with Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe is 72 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We played in the Dominican Republic on a course called Teeth of the Dog. Teeth of the Dog was designed by Pete Dye. Pete Dye is one of the most diabolical architects of golf courses that you will ever play. Like, he is diabolical. He sets things up. He makes some really deep bunkers. He makes some really fast greens. And Jim Thorpe demolished that course at 72 years old, shot a 64 out there.
Wow.
So it's a different type of emphasis on the body. You know what I'm saying, Reggie? Basketball.
Oh, yeah, I know.
The difference in people who kind of still want to get some sort of workout and stuff like that and stay in shape and still feel athletic. Golf is one of those sports. That's why you have a lot of ex-pro athletes in other sports playing golf to stay competitive and still compete in some sort of athletic kind of way.
I played with J.R. Reed too. J.R. Reed, y'all know the basketball player J.R. Reed, all right? He is now playing for North Carolina. Is it A&T? I think it's North Carolina. Right? This boy is a beast. Like, when you talk about being athletic at something, he's smart. He's like, you know what? I can still play basketball, but I'm not gonna play no more. I'm a pro. I already, reached the pinnacle. I have a ring. I'm good. I've got the championship. Now I'm gonna play golf, and he's killing the field.
Yeah, he's doing good.
He hits me on YouTube sometimes. So shout out to J.R. Reed, Team Swish on IG. Shout out to him all day long.
All right. Well, Mike, I don't know how much Mike D. I don't know how much further you want to go.
We've done it over an hour. I don't want to hold you guys that much longer. But
I got to make a run right quick before 8:00.
Okay, I hear you. Well, final thoughts, words of advice for those who want to do what you guys do and make a living as entertainers, as actors.
Nike, just do it. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it, man. I know I want to be an actor since I was in the 4th grade, but I never told a soul, not my mother, but I had it written. My friends, I had it written on the wall. I wanted to run track, play football, and be in movies. And every time I went out my door, I used to look at it. It was written in Liberty, my Liberty handwriting, but nobody really paid attention to it. I never told anybody all the way to college, man. And then when I started doing it, that's when I started telling my friends. So never let anybody tell you that you can't do what you want to do or be what you want to be. If this is what you want to do, get out, take a lot of, community theater and, acting classes. And if you're still in school, take acting classes, study acting. So if this is what you want to do, then go ahead.
Okay. There it is.
I would say that my word of advice is believe wholeheartedly in yourself.
There it is.
You know, there is sometimes I tell people this analogy and they think it's kind of, you know, hokey, but it's really, really true. There's a movie called Kung Fu Panda. I got little kids, so I watch a lot of little movies. I got 5 kids, right?
That's
so
how you get the messages, and the animations, and
they've got some great messages
for the adults.
Some fantastic messages. There is a movie called Kung Fu Panda, and there is a magic scroll that, you know, this other bad guy wants to get this scroll because there is the secret to life and the secret to all this great things. So there's a scroll that, you know, him and Kung Fu Panda fighting over. So he finally catches this scroll and he looks in it, and it is basically like a mirror. You're looking at your reflection in the mirror, right? So the bad guy looked at it and he saw himself and he said, "There's nothing there." Okay? You got to believe in yourself. If you look in the mirror and you see nothing, you will be nothing. But Kung Fu Panda realized, he said, "Bro, the secret is inside yourself." So you wholeheartedly have to, if you believe that you can do something, I don't care what it is, acting, writing, dancing, CEO of a Fortune 500 company, you will not get there if you do not believe in yourself. Nobody's going to believe in you the way you believe in yourself. So go for it, go hard, don't take no for an answer, keep moving forward, and you're going to make something out of yourself.
And last thing that I gotta say, I always live by this old Japanese, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Yep. So you make that first step and you good to go.
Yep.
That's it.
Love it.
It is.
Well, thank you,
guys. I don't know if that's Japanese, but
yeah, I think that might be Sun Tzu or
it might be
Art of War.
Art of War.
Art of War.
Might be Sun Tzu.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I did read, but I forgot sometimes. I reread like 4 or 5 books at one time, and I'll be forgetting. I'm doing Frankenstein and Dracula and the Bible all at one time.
Let me ask you, what you know about you Kung Fu Panda?
It's funny because all of it correlates with each other. It's like, hold up.
Was that Sun Tzu? No, what is that?
No.
I read Art of War.
I'll make it big.
What's that?
8 diagram pole fighter.
Oh, I ain't never seen that one.
Okay.
I
got to review it.
Yeah.
I got to check it out.
I got to review it.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, you got a couple of people have decided to subscribe to Hackerish Golf. Thanks, DJ Lev, and
thank you
all.
all.
The other people that subscribe to it, Hackerish Golf, you'll enjoy it.
Okay. All right, I got to be somewhere.
Reg got to go.
I appreciate you, man. All righty, Pete. All right, Mike.
All right, peace.
Later, Reg.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for coming on.
Guys, thank you so much for this. I mean, this has been amazing. Thank you.
Bring your game. On the 26th, bring your game.
I ain't worried about you.
You can see those
Reggie
guys Hackerish Golf, y'all.
He used to be good. He ain't good no more. You know what? I know we're getting ready to leave, but let's wrap it up. But Reggie actually went through some serious stuff.
Oh yeah, man.
And I mean, serious.
I forgot to talk about that.
Huh?
I said I forgot to talk about that.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it.
Mike will tell y'all, man. But yeah, I had open heart surgery. My wife gave me a kidney, but Mike will fill y'all in, man. All right.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Right on, bro.
All right, man. I'm gonna talk to y'all, man.
Thanks a lot, Reg.
Peace. Right, thank you.
Okay.
Peace.
When I tell you he came from he had bad kidneys. His kidney was an issue. So his wife had decided to give him a kidney. He was going to have a kidney transplant. So what they did was they swapped the kidney. They found a kidney that was really suitable for his size because his wife is a little bitty woman, right? So they were able to swap a kidney and they found one. But as they were doing all these tests, right? You know how you go through the whole battery of tests in order to, like treatment and all of this. So he found out that he had a blockage in his heart.
Wow.
So, and like one of his, like the Widowmaker was like, you know, something like 80-90% clogged. And if the Widowmaker is clogged, you pretty much, you know, that's why they call it the Widowmaker. You're not going to make it. So they went in and he did work on his heart, got that done. And then after his heart got stronger, he went in and they transplanted his kidney. So when I tell you he's been going all within a year and a half, right?
Wow.
So this brother he's been through hell and back.
Yeah.
Right. So when I tell you, you know, I take my hat off to Reggie. He's here for a reason.
The good positive brother too. Always positive too.
Good brother. Always smile
positive
throughout the whole 9.
Definitely.
Brings nothing but positive energy when he's around.
So definitely, please, you know, some prayers up for Reggie and his continued, you know, health and moving forward, staying healthy and being right. So
fantastic. All right. Well, thank you, Ralph. Michael, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mike D.
All right. Peace.
Mikey, thanks.
Hey, Eric, that was great. Thank you so much for hooking that up.
Yeah, man. You know,
I was enjoying
just wanted to share those guys. They were done some work, and if anybody that's a fan of TV, especially TV back then and now, but you know, there was a heyday there for a minute. Certainly working with Bernie Mac, you know.
Oh yeah, I love any Bernie Mac stories, Tupac stories we got.
And Martin, you know, Reggie was there with Martin and Mike on A Different World, you know, and saw that whole kind of evolution and the effect of that show on the culture, certainly Black culture anyway.
And still out there doing it, you know.
Yep.
Still out there doing it just like you. Yep. So we're gonna, folks, thank you for hanging out. So if you watch this live, you can watch it live, but if you missed it, it's gonna be on Reelblack 2 in the morning. So you know, hit that like button, indeed, and let people know, like, if they missed it, they can catch it on Reelblack 2 in just a few hours. All right, so
Reelblack 2.
That's how we do it at Reelblack 2.
Support the channel, y'all. Pass the word, spread the word. You know, we're trying to do some good, continue doing the good things that Mike started with the foundation you built, Mike.
Yeah, we're definitely working it the way according to the rules. We're playing by these new rules.
Yeah.
So we have to please subscribe to Reelblack 2 if you've not already, because we need to build those numbers up in order for this plan to continue to work. All right. Any final thoughts, Eric?
No, it was a good discussion, man. You know, we got to get back with Charles when he comes back. I can't wait to talk some politics, though. You know.
Oh yeah.
Talk the array of subjects from entertainment to education to politics and everything in between, right? That affects our people and the world.
Yeah, we're Talking Black podcast. That's what we do here.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Peace.
All right. Peace, everybody. Reelblack. Keep it.